What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Plus Money Sports Betting Podcast. My name is Q. You can follow me on all socials at Bets by Q. And of course, this podcast is brought to you by Black Sheep Betting, where it is a dog's world. An absolute fire opening day. We swept in the VIP. I know that I didn't get the podcast out yesterday. And trust me, like, I'm kicking myself for it. I had some car issues, man, I had to take care of, and the time wasn't there for me to genuinely give out um, the podcast yesterday. So my apologies on that. Nobody's perfect, but if you were in the Discord, you were able to get some of these plays that I dropped. The link in the description is for the Discord. It's absolutely free. It's just a place to hang out, share your bets, celebrate wins, cope with the losses. Um, in the back end of Miami. In the tennis world, we got some challenger events as well as some qualifiers going on today. So I will be making an appearance in the tennis chat, probably a little bit before noon with the play in the Discord. So we'd love to have you in there. Again, it's absolutely free. Of course, I got the VIP going on. MLB, we started the year really kind of crazy. All right. So we pushed the first game of the year, right? So 0-0-1. Now we've proceeded to go 4-1. All right. So I swept the board yesterday in VIP, including the Chase DeLauder home run in his season debut. He hits his two first home runs for the Guardians. I was on the Guardians last night. I think it was a very sharp play. But anyways, VIP is rocking and rolling. I think the MLB is probably the best value, that package that I have right there. Just for the amount of volume that you're going to get based on the season being as big as it is, right? I mean, the VIP is a place where value trumps volume, but when you have a season with 162 games or, whatever that is, 5,000 games, between the 32 teams, then of course you're going to get a little bit more uptick in volume. So expect that during the MLB season, we will divvy up the units appropriately because, of course, we're always shooting for the plus money. Speaking of, I've got one for you today. I'm looking at this Astros game tonight between the Angels. I was all over the under 8 yesterday. Leaning towards the under here again. All right. Kikuchi versus Burrows. I think this is more of a game script to read than just numbers, though. I think, this sets up as a pitching driven matchup. So you've got arms on both sides that can limit hard contact. And more importantly, both teams project to work deeper into the game. All right. I watched this entire game yesterday, with the exception of the uh, Jordan Alvarez home run that wasn't. This game was just soaring under. Right. I don't think a run was scored until the sixth or seventh inning. These are two teams that, I mean, hey, Mike Trout looked good. That was great. He stole a base and he jacked a home run. I thought that was awesome. To see Mike Trout kind of, the glimpses of the old Mike Trout, what we know, in our generation. But um, these two teams we know the Astros have been a dominant team in AL West for the last 10, 12 years. They're on the decline, all right? Um, even though that lineup is, dangerous in ways, they tend to be more methodical than explosive to start the season. I mean, this is a very slow starting team. They're not a team that constantly is swinging for the crooked numbers every inning. Um, they'll string some hits together for sure. That usually plays into unders if the sequencing doesn't break perfectly. So, I mean, this is a team that historically is an under team in the Astros, all right? And then obviously you have an Angels team that offensively is just not that good, all right? When you look at the bullpen angle, I think the under gets a lot of value when you factor that in. If both starters can give you some quality innings here, and I think that they do, you're handing it over to a relatively fresh, structured bullpen for both sides. They usually can keep games from blowing up late. So, um, and I also just think that like the totals involving Houston often get shaded up just because of the name value and the public perception of their offense. But I mean, look, if you're a baseball junkie or you follow sports or you're just big into the number, you know that Houston is an under team, okay? Uh, so the public perception kind of creates value on the under here. Um, because this matchup does not support a high scoring game. So I'm going to go with the Astros on the under 8.5 in their matchup between the Angels. It is plus 100. I don't expect this number to have the hook much longer. So I do think it's playable to 8. The ideal number is 8.5 at plus 100. But once this drops to 8, you're probably going to get it at minus 115, minus 120. I think it's playable to 115. 120 is a bit much of an ask for me, but as it stands right now at 5 a.m. Today, I do like the 8.5 at plus 100. You can find that. All right. So 1 unit on the board today, 1 play. We are on the Astros and Angels under 8.5 plus 100. All right. 1 unit. I'll be back here tomorrow with more plus money plays from around the sports world. Good luck. And as always, my name is Q from Black Sheep Betting, and I hope each and every one of you hit each and every one of your bets. Peace.